And the monks in those early years were all travellers. We've been many places through the world, many third world countries. Some had been through Africa, I'd been through Central America. I'd also been through much of Asia. People have been all over the place, and when we actually talked together, we came to a conclusion that the food in the northeast of Thailand was the worst in the whole world. And it was true. I mean, it couldn't get much worse. It wasn't just that you ate sort of rotten things. It was just the way it was cooked was rotten. I mean, you could do much more to a frog than just put it in some boiling water and just serve it to the monks. You just put a bit of sauce or something in it, some salt or something. But so the northeasterners didn't seem to care. And so it was just the worst tasting food. But of course, after a while, you know this story, you started to enjoy it. It was amazing, some of the stuff which I started to enjoy and look forward to. And these days, I couldn't eat it. It's so disgusting. Why was that? And again, it's because whatever food you have, if today it's slightly better than yesterday, that's called delicious. If it's slightly worse than yesterday, then you complain. It doesn't matter how good it is or how bad it is, the pleasure of even taste is relative. And that's the same with all of the senses. Even the talks which you give. If I give just brilliant talks, I can't give brilliant talks every week, because it's all relative. If it's a bit better than the talk I get last week, then it's brilliant. If it's not quite up to the standard, then it's not so good. We're always goodness, badness, pleasure, pain. This is relative, part of the duality, which shows that through the senses, those five sense world, it's impossible. It cannot happen that you can get happiness there. There'll be change, anicca, and that change is out of your control, anatta. You will get pleasure in the body and pain in the body. I'm just overhearing tea time talking about sitting through pain. Isn't it true that the monks have done that? They sit through pain many hours, the beginning of the night, and the end of the night they sit through bliss. It's very common. The ending of that pain is bliss. The ending of the bliss is pain. I'm just noticing those Vedanas. Those Vedanas are always changing, whatever you do. Understanding this shows that there is what's called viparinama dukkha. Viparinama means change. It's the dukkha associated with change. The hopelessness of trying to find real happiness and satisfaction in this world. Really contemplate that. You're in the five sense world most of the time in this monastery. Unless you access jhanas, you're stuck in that world. In this world, in this monastery, if you leave this monastery, if you're working outside, living at home, living here, wherever you are, it's going to be very imperfect. You're going to have a huge amount of suffering in your life. And some happiness as well. It has to be that way. If you look at this clearly, not just with the stupidity of denial. We want the world to be happy, we want the world to be perfect, and so when it's not perfect we think that someone's made a mistake. We blame ourselves or blame other people. That blaming is just denial. You can't blame yourself, you can't blame other people. This is the way this world actually is. It's not really up to you whether you're smart or stupid, whether people make mistakes or don't make mistakes. This is part of the sensory realm. When actually you see that clearly, you realize that trying to find happiness in this world, trying to fix up this world, trying to solve the problems in this world, trying to do social work, trying to set up organizations to stop the exploitation of this group or that group. It's nice to do, but it's pretty hopeless. It's like the person being born in a prison, not knowing anything else other than prison, and spending their whole life just trying to make the prison cell a little bit more comfortable, painting the prison cells, putting flower pots with nice flowers on the cell windows. No matter how much you paint the prisons, prison is prison. Every prisoner, if they had the chance, would like to escape, except those who get institutionalized, who don't know any different. This is what most of us spend our life doing, trying to think, well, prison isn't all that bad. The torture, it's only every 20%, 30%, 40%, 60% we have fun. Really, if you were in a jail, you only got tortured 8 hours of the day, and 16 hours of the day you could do whatever you want. Would you really be happy? Is that really a good deal? What happens if it's a better deal? Say 18 hours of the day, only 6 hours of torture. Or 20 hours of the day, and only 4 hours of torture. Or 23 hours of fun and 1 hour of torture. Or say 30 years of fun, and then you get your torture for the last 20 years of your life. Or the last 10 years. Is that really good enough for you? The point is that people who are Aryas see that the place where you're born in is a place called a prison. You're tortured by the 5 senses, which are beyond your control. They give you happiness and then they give you suffering. The person who actually built this, or not built, who laid the bricks in this hall, he was an old man. He was in the Royal Air Force during the Second World War. He told me that just towards the end of the war, he went on a bombing raid over Germany. His plane got shot, and they had to jump out. And being scared, instead of waiting with all the other crew, he jumped out too early and landed in enemy territory. All the other ones, they waited a bit longer, and they all fell in the English lines. He got captured. He got captured by the German military, and he said, I don't know if they didn't see movies in those days, but you'd all recognise this. They had the good guy and the bad guy, he said. And this bad guy was interrogating him, asking where he came from and what was going on. And then, after being interrogated for a while, this other German soldier came in and said, we're all soldiers together. And he said, I've got you something to eat. And he said it was like roast beef and potatoes and gravy and like peas and everything he could ever want as an Englishman. And he put it right in front of him. And he was just about to tuck it. He said, this good guy, you enjoy it. And then the bad guy came in and said, what are you doing? And he threw the plate to the floor. It was just out of Hollywood. But he said it actually happened. He didn't know better at the time. He got really upset. And this is just torture, isn't it? That's how people get tortured. Putting happiness in front of you, almost in your reach, and you find you can't get it. So that 5 sense world is like that. Don't buy into that realm. In this monastery we live in that realm all the time. You can never get the food you like, you can never get the kuti you like, you can never get the weather you like, you can never get the sleep you want, you can never get the health in the body you like. You can't get it. It'd be wonderful if as an apple I can give you everything you wanted. It's impossible to do that. That's why I don't mind pampering, because I can't fulfill what you want. No one can. Neither in this life or any other life. The viparinama dukkha just shows you just the hopelessness of this life. And if you don't know anything more A lot of times people just say, okay, well, this is life, just make the best of it. Yeah, there's going to be a bit of suffering, but, why not just try the best you can, just take the rough with the smooth, that's life. But the point is, the Buddha said there is something more than that, there is something different than that. And this is actually where the sankhara dukkha can be investigated. Only if you've let go of that 5 sense world. This sense world of sight, sound, smell, taste, bodily touch. I say that the whole purpose of the Eightfold Path is to get you, first of all, one of its first purpose is to get you out of the 5 sense world, to give you a different perspective, to get into the world of mind, of the 6th sense, the rupa loka or arupa loka, instead of kama loka. This world is kama loka. It's not a very high realm to be in. It gets into rupa loka, arupa loka, in the jhana realms. One tricks you into getting into these realms just because of the sheer fun of it. I was saying to the Anagarikas last night, the jhanas are a poison with a sweet taste. They poison the defilements, they poison the self, they poison craving, and especially poison the self. Why would you want to poison the self? Just because it's so sweet. The sweetness of those states is what will take you past the fear of knowing that you're killing something deep inside of you. But it's only illusion, it's not a real thing you're killing. You're killing the delusion of me and mine. If you don't do it through the sweetness of the experience, you can do it out of faith. Faith in the teachers you know who have done that, who have gone through the other side, and who are fine. And actually more than fine. When a person does get into the deep meditations, the jhanas, it's extremely blissful. And sometimes people ask, well, what's that got to do with seeing dukkha? It's got everything to do with seeing dukkha. Because reflecting afterwards, why is that bliss? Where did that come from? Or what we say in Buddhism, what caused it? Everything has its cause, has its origin. The origin of the happiness of jhanas is vivichehi kamehi. Having been left the 5 sense world and all the akusala dhammas which go along with that. Having got out of prison on parole. Sure, jhanas are temporary releases in the same way that parole is a temporary release. Just out of compassionate leave, just for a few days. But when you get out of jail, for the very first time in your existence, not only is it extremely pleasurable, but you're seeing something which you could never conceive of before. A person who's born in jail, brought up in jail, lived up all their life in jail, just cannot conceive what it's like to be outside. In the same way, a person who has lived all their life in the 5 sense realm cannot even conceive what a jhana is like. When you achieve a jhana, you will understand that this is weird, this is strange, this is real and highly pleasurable. You've left the 5 sense world. You realize that it's pleasurable because you've let go of a lot of sankhara dukkha. This